Good morning as it is here in Japan and welcome to Tokyo. Well, hard as it is to believe, this is already Boulder World Cup number 5 of the season, so let's have a look at the current overall standings because it could become critical this morning. The top 3 in the overall rankings in both the men's and the women's will be taking part in this morning's semi-final. Janja Garnbret down there in 4th. She's not here and she won't be here in Vail, and she's not going to win the overall Boulder World Cup title. But that top 3, Miho Nanaka, Akira Noguchi and Fanny Gibert, all are here and they're all climbing this morning. Ditto in the men's, Yone Kruda, Tomoe Narasaki, Alexei Rubtsov, all through to today's semi-final. Kokoro Fuji, Rei Sugimoto make up the rest of the top 5, and they're also here. Gregor Vazonik in 6th. It's not but Alex Cavanaugh, Jongwon Chon, and a bit lower down the order, Tomoe Aki Takata, all in the semi-final this morning. So before the semi-final, let's see how the athletes got here in yesterday's qualifiers. Tokyo, the capital of Japan and the most populated city in the world, is the latest host of the IFSC Boulderers. The athletes are competing at the ES Forte Arena in the Hachioji district, and, as is to be expected, Japan fielded a large team at their home event. Akira Noguchi and Miho Nanaka were unstoppable last month in the 2 Chinese World Cups, and once again they looked excellent in Hachioji, both topping all 5 boulders in their qualifying groups. Team Japan didn't have a great day overall in the women's competition though, with only 4 of their 17 female athletes progressing to the semi-finals. Joining them there will be Shauna Coxey, who missed the previous 2 World Cups as she continues her recovery from a finger injury. So Shauna, you missed the last couple of World Cups. How was it being back on a World Cup wall?
It was so strange being at home and watching on the live stream for the first time. It was my choice to be not at a comp and watching, and I really needed that break to focus on training and getting my head back and feeling comfortable on the wall again, and I felt like I did that, so to be back here and climbing again feels really good.
And how was the finger today?
Finger's a little bit sore still, but yeah, I mean there's still a process of recovery that I'm going through, but it feels stronger than it did in Meiringen and Moscow, so yeah, I'm definitely making progress and starting to feel a lot better on the wall. But it was so hot out there today, it was so slippery. Yeah, everyone was saying it might be quite cold because of the aircon, but actually with all the lights and all the people in here, it is warm out there.
It's absolutely freezing in the rest of the arena, so I might go and stand on the mats, but how are you feeling mentally? A bit more nervous than usual? Did it feel odd to know that everyone had climbed in a couple of World Cups that you'd not been there for?
I think if anything, I feel less nervous. I feel much more comfortable in my climbing, and for me that's the most important thing, and I'm just going out there to try the boulders and have a good time. So yeah, I mean, I always get nervous before comps. I would be surprised if anyone didn't, but yeah, I think it's good nerves, not bad nerves, and yeah, I'm just enjoying being here.
It's good to have you back.
It's very good to be back, thank you.
Stasha Geo had a decent day in the qualifiers with 3 tops in the tougher B qualification group, enough to send her through 5th in the group, 9th overall. Sadly for her, Chloe Collier did not have such a fun morning and finished 21st, just outside the semi-final spots. Johanna Faber, finalist in Taiwan, made it easily through, the only one of the 4 Austrian climbers to do so. Kaji Kadic also got through with ease, topping all 5 boulders, as did an informed Fanny Gibert, who did the same in the same qualifying group.
Hi Fanny, how are you?
I'm really good, and you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just finished my qualification round and it went pretty good, so how was your round?
Pretty good also. I was just after you and it was like a lot of pressure because you did all boulders, but it was good fun. And yeah, I really like the boulders. The setting was good, there was a lot of volumes and really nice round.
Yeah, I agree with you. And how do you found the early morning start?
Well, the early morning was not a problem. The night sleeping was a very big problem. I didn't sleep at all. It was awful, but it's okay. It's Japan.
Yeah, we need to get off jet lag, I guess. So good luck in semis, I guess.
Yeah, semis. We will be together, and I think the night will be better, so it's cool.
Kyra Condi, fresh from her first final appearance 3 weeks ago in Taiwan, also claimed 5 tops to continue her rich vein of form. Final last time out in Taiwan, 5 boulders in the qualifying round in Tokyo. What a season!
Yeah, it's going great so far, like better than I expected. I've been training really hard and I was like hoping it would go well, but you never know. Everyone else is so strong and you know, these comps are so finicky but I'm like really excited to be actually finally climbing to like what I feel like is my full potential in these competitions. I usually make mistakes and so I'm really happy about it.
Since China, you've been training here in Tokyo. What's that been like?
Yeah, I've been training here for the last like 3-ish weeks and it's been amazing. The gyms here are incredible. The people are really, really friendly. All the gyms have been super welcoming. And the setting is so good. It's been so amazing to be able to climb on that style, and especially of the style that this competition will be.
Well, it seems to be paying off, so good luck tomorrow and great job today.
Well, thanks.
Here are the top 10 from each of the 2 qualifying groups. For full results, check the IFSC website, ifsc-climbing.org. Over lunch, the route setters swapped the women's boulders for the men's, and we got underway. With no less than 21 male climbers taking part, Team Japan were looking to match their qualifying result in Hachioji last year when they got 10 men into the semis. They didn't manage that this year, but they'll still be very well represented, with most of their major contenders through to semis, including the Narasaki brothers and Kokora Fuji. Gregor Vazonik, twice a medalist this season, won't be joining them. He had a tough day on a tough set of boulders and finished outside the top 20. Jerne Kruder will be there though, his 2 tops being enough for 3rd in his group, despite his initial worries that he hadn't done enough. So Jerne, you look tired coming down off the wall, everyone does, that was a hard set.
I was tired after the first one, then I was tired after the second and the third and the fourth, and now I'm like destroyed.
But you felt okay coming into the boulders? You think it's just a really hard set from the route setters?
It's always hard to say, especially because usually I'm kind of good in slabs, and today I failed on all 3 of them. So it's really hard to say about that. But on the other hand, like, yeah, I felt pretty strong, or not strong, just okay, like previous rounds. And yeah, maybe it's just like really hard round.
You're doing well in the overall standings. Does that put more pressure on you, or you just feel exactly the same? I think I know the answer.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it every time. Yeah, I try not to forget that. Even if I fail in some kind of easy boulders or whatever, I try to enjoy it all the time.
Well, that's why we like watching you, and hopefully we'll see you in the semi tomorrow.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Alexei Rubtsov and Jongwon Chon, 2 powerhouses, both made it through and will climb in what is shaping up to be a fierce men's semi. Manuel Corno will be there too and always puts on a show, and although Albon Levier sadly won't be joining him, he'll have Mikael Marwem for company. Sean McCall had a tough day, getting no tops and finishing well down the order. Alex Cavanaugh, winner in Taiwan 3 weeks ago, had no such worries and completed another excellent day by claiming 4 tops. So I'm here with Alex Cavanaugh, the last man to win a World Cup. I bet he's still getting used to that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable still. It's been, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks since then, and the time flies. It just, like yesterday it happened, and I'm still like in shock, and I'm still trying to handle it, you know? It's a lot to take in, especially in the country. Everyone's looking at me a different way, and also maybe my expectations are slightly different, so it's hard. It's a long process. It will take me a bit to get used to that.
So this was your first time on the wall since that big win. How did you feel today? It was a tough set.
For me, I really struggled. Although I did 4 tops eventually, I did them in 21 tries. And the reason that I think I was a bit nervous. First boulder was my style, a bit powerful, so I did it quick. Then second boulder was a slab, and I'm not really good slab, and started falling, and I started getting nervous, you know, because suddenly from winning the World Cup, I'm starting falling, and I knew people did it. In the last moment, I took myself together, I did it. Then same happened with number 4. I fell on the top, and I kept falling. Last minute, I did it. And once I had 3 tops, and I knew less boulders my style, it's kind of, I got more ease, and I knew I can do it, and then I executed. But actually, mentally, it was pretty hard set for me.
Hey, well, you made it through, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Semi-finals start at 9 a.m. Japanese time, and the finals are at 2 p.m. So we're just minutes away from the start here in Hachioji, so let's have a look at your semi-finalists. Of course, 20 men and 20 women as ever. And there is our wall. Spectacular venue here, and here are the climbers who will take part in it. First up, Uskura Pusic of Slovenia. Should be interesting to see her in action, and keep an eye out there in number 3. Oceana McKenzie had an excellent Youth World Championships in Innsbruck at the end of last year. Really excited to see her climbing. Some interesting names further down. Alana Yip, Futaba Ito, another star from Innsbruck 2017, and Kyra Condi, finalist last time out. She'll be out 10th in today's semi-final. Semi-finals as ever in reverse order. If you qualify in first place, you climb 20th in the semi-final, and that's Akio Noguchi today. But before her, we'll see Miho Nanaka, Katja Kadik, Fanny Gilbert, Solsaya, Hannah Fairber, Shauna Coxey back. She missed the 2 World Cups in China, and Stasha Geo, and also Shauna's compatriot Michaela Tracy in the semi-final as well. Good to see her back in action. And on the men's side of things, we've got youngster Kim Marschner of Germany out first, and then a strong men's semi-final. Billy Rydell, third out. Be interesting to see how he goes. But Alexei Rubtsov only just made it through the qualifiers, but he made it. He's climbing 4th. Mikhail Marwem 5th. Gabri Moroni 6th. What a strong trio. That is quite early on in the semi-final. Jason Holowak of Canada will be climbing 7th. Meiichi Narasaki, his first appearance of 2018 in the Boulder World Cups, out 9th onto the mats. And you can see there in 12th place, Manuel Cornu, the showman from Meiringen. He'll be climbing 12th. A lot of people would like to see him in a final, but he's got to earn it. Winner from last time in Taiwan, Alex Cavanaugh. What a moment that was 3 weeks ago. He'll be climbing 13th. Leading the overall standings, Yerne Kruder 15th, and his main rival, it would seem, in the overall standings right now, Tomoe Narasaki 16th. Good day for Japan, not a great one. Last year they had 10 male semi-finalists. Haven't quite matched that this time. And I'm delighted to say I'm joined, not for the first time in the commentary box, by Percy Bishton.
Morning.
Percy, I don't use the word lightly, a legend of the route setting scene. And
like a dinosaur. Yeah.
It's a polite way of saying that, yeah. But this is your last World Cup.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about it? Last time setting?
Yeah, great. I mean, I've set a lot of World Cups. I'm getting old and it's time to make space for some new guys to come in. So, yeah, it's great. I'm happy to be here, and yeah, it's great that it's the last one. Hopefully we'll go out with a bang, and it'll be a great comp. So,
yeah, we talked to Percy a couple of days ago, and that interview can be seen on the IFSC Facebook page. So first climbers are out. Percy, I have to ask you about Women's One, about what hallucinogenics were being consumed when this was created, or who created it.
This is a problem from our guest exchange student, Garrett Greger from America. Every year but there's an exchange between the Japanese World Cup and the American World Cup in Vail. So the Americans send some of their best setters over. This year it's Garrett Greger from Boulder, Colorado, who's come over, has worked with us all week. This is his problem, inspired by the computer game Tetris.
It's an amazing looking boulder, and it's Uskura Pusic who's climbing on it first.
I mean, I've played Tetris, and it was nothing like this.
No, I'm not. It's certainly an abstract representation of Tetris.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see or to kind of get the gist of what the problem's all about just by looking at it on the screen. The shot's great, but it doesn't give you the angle of the wall. So kind of halfway between her ankles and her knees is a change of angle. So the bottom half of the wall is slightly overhanging, and the top half is a slab. So the start of the problem is a mantle, and then there's a very difficult transition across a traverse left. And the feet, as you can see, she's standing on top of these cubes, these kind of weird Rubik's Cubes volumes, and it's not very secure. It's what we call a risk problem. You know, I'm sure regular viewers will be familiar with this concept now that you know, the route setters try and build risk in. So it's not just about, you know, you have to be confident, place your feet, keep your heels down so you get maximum amount of rubber onto the holds. And is that partly for the show and partly for practical reasons, so that you get separation between the climbers? Yeah. You have to use attempts up. It's mostly practical. You know, we want people to, you know, the aim of the game is we want people to do the problems, but we don't want them to flash them. We want people to make attempts. You know, that's our aim. So you see, she gets to the bonus here, which is this blue volume. First semi-final, Boulder World Cup semi-final for Uska, two-time European Youth Boulder Cup winner. And I mean, you know, the nature of the route setters, the way we like to kind of play psychologically a little bit with the competitors, is the first boulder is one that you have to be calm, you have to be confident, and just move smoothly. And obviously, having a boulder like that for your first, the problem is, you know, not very nice of us really, but that's just the way we like to be sometimes. Yeah, Kim Marschner, German climber, is out on the men's one. Haven't seen too much of men's one just yet. Yeah, a bit like in China a couple of weeks ago. Sorry to interrupt. We're taking our pictures of Japanese TV, NHK, one of the national broadcasters here. So during the finals, we actually have a break of 5 minutes. We'll stay on air, but their pictures will take a break for 5 minutes while we go to the news. It's a top for Uska. Good start to the semi-final. Yeah, while we go to the news, not something we often deal with on the IFSC live streams, going to the national news. But how climbing's moving on. What are you going to do in the 5 minutes then? Are you going to have IFSC news? Maybe make some up. I think that might be I'm going to don a suit and. That's a good shot of the last. The news. If you look at the finishing hold here, it's just a tiny little screw-on jib, but there is no texture on it either. On any part of it? No, it's completely smooth. It's polished. So you know, it's a finishing point, but you can't pull on it. So you know, it's all like she did really, really well there. She had a fantastic balance, and you know, kept it together. Yeah, it's a really good start from her. Nice top, earns herself a minute and a half or so of extra rest. We focus on Kim, very experienced youth climber, but this is his first senior semi-final. Yeah, he's in with the big boys with this one. This is this problem set by the Japanese setters and an IFSC setter, although he's not working for the IFSC here. Gen Hiroshima. Yeah, who we also saw in action some of the Chinese World Cups. I think it was Taiwan when we had him. Yeah, yeah. So this boulder, quite a fierce start for the men. Yes, yeah. It's yeah. I mean, the holes are quite big, but it's all off balance. You know, the whole thing, just a series of layaways going across this wall. It's very steep, and it's just trying to spit you off all the time. You jump between the two edges, kick your foot out, and just try and hold the barn door. And then the holes at the top are absolutely horrific, very, very slopey, and it's just totally off balance. A bit more, I mean, you were saying how having this kind of risky, delicate first women's problem is tricky for the climbers. This may be the kind of thing the climbers want to see at the start of the men's round, because they can just give it everything, or does it need a bit more than just power? Yeah, it's subtle. You can be as strong as you like and still not be able to do it. You need power, but you also need to. It's kind of a feeling boulder. You need to find, you know, where to put your body, just to find the balance point so you stay on. You can't brutalize it. You can't power it into submission. You have to feel your way a little bit. This is Tomoaki Takata. Oh, easy. He's a very strong performer, but we don't see him at that many World Cups. Yeah, I think we saw him at the Quiff this year. Okay, here we go. Let's get the Quiff mention in. no. Just saying.
Just saying. That's okay.
I won't mention it again. The quiff.
The quiff.
I won't mention it.
.com won't be mentioned again.
No, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Alma Bestvater on women's one.
Who won the quiff this year, actually? Won the women's competition. First big international win.
Definitely won't be mentioned again.
No.
No, she's
looking good here.
Yeah, she's interesting enough. She's not really converted that win in the World Cup so far. It's the one semi-final for her so far. That was in Chongqing, but she's off to a good start here in Hachioji.
Needs to lift this left foot up now, get it on the green volume if you can.
That's it. That hold is so bad, presumably you've got to get something out of the left foot.
Yeah.
You'll just never hang on to it.
Well, you're not going to hang on it now.
Right idea.
Yeah, it's tricky because you have to be super flexible in your hips. As soon as your left foot comes up, you can see here her backside starts to come out. Just she gets her foot up, and it just tips that balance point out, and you're out of there.
That's a really nice boulder. This, not just aesthetically, seems to be doing exactly what you guys were hoping for.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's doable, but you just have to, you know, it might take you a few goes just to find a good way. Bit of a nightmare though for the competitors, the first boulder, to have you know, these slabby sort of balance problems. It's the men's have been a bit kinder, you know, they can come out and they can do, you know, some hard power moves straight away.
Let's have a look at Tomoaki. Already made a finalist. He was 5th in Meiringen, and you might remember that feels a long time ago.
The flexibility there. Last time my hips worked like that was like 1987, I think.
Alma having a good battle on women's one.
Yeah, not super easy the first move either. The green volume is not a very good hold at all. Very slopey.
There's a few different methods of moving out left here.
Or you can kind of more or less walk across, but you can see that she's just taking her time, being careful with it, just to avoid any slips.
Is it moving across those Rubik's cubes? Is it the type of moves where you can feel you're doing fine, suddenly you're back on the mat, or does it feel relatively secure?
No, I think the traverse across is fairly straightforward. Oh, look, she's found the heel hook.
And she's
got nice to sit. Oh no,
pretty sure she's not going to be awarded that. I was about to say sufficient power in the hamstrings and the hips. No, she doesn't think she got it either. No. So both hands on the top. Certainly the closest she's been.
Yeah, Alma pretty good at one-arm pull-ups apparently, but I'm not going to help her on this one.
No, sadly not. The heel hook looks perhaps a slightly easier method of grabbing the top hold, or I guess it depends on your physiology and flexibility.
Yeah, and it depends really on if you can just get that heel to stick on that red volume. It is very slopey. You can see you see Alma there. She looked comfortable, and then just as she leaned across, you know, the body position just unweighted her foot a little bit, and it skidded off. It's I think she'll probably do it this time, but I think she's realised that she needs to try and keep the pressure on that heel and really keep pulling with the leg.
Time shouldn't be a factor, provided she can get herself set. More than 10 seconds to get this done.
She'll keep the pressure on here. Look, she's still cranking on that right leg. Yeah, really good.
Pretty hard for the judges to tell whether she was touching the top. It looked like she was, and seem they agree.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to argue with her.
No. No, that's for sure. So our first chance to have a look at Oceana McKenzie. She'll be climbing on women's one, and Billy Rydell, both interesting young climbers. If Oceana's name sounds familiar, that's because we saw a lot of her in Innsbruck in 2017. She's also the reigning Oceania Continental Champion. Billy's a climber you'll know reasonably well.
Yeah,
what can we expect from him, do you think?
Well, he's very, very happy to be in his first World Cup semi-final. I spoke to him very briefly yesterday. I think his exact words were, "Can't believe I did one." And yeah, so hopefully he'll be nice and relaxed and he'll just climb, you know, because that's the best place that he can be, you know, just nice and calm, just enjoy himself, enjoy the experience. So our first look at the second problems as well. We've got Kim trying men's 2, which was set by Hachioji, one of the IFSC setters here for the Hachioji World Cup. Very, very tricky little problem.
This looks like one of those positions that's relatively easy to get into and very difficult to get out of. What is the method? You get the foot high first?
The best thing to do is to do this. It's just a little jump across, not even a jump, like a step across.
Is there anything underneath that volume, or is it just the volume itself?
No, he's trying to crimp on the edge of the volume. Tricky move over. That's the zone there, which he's not been awarded. So, and then on the men's problem, so weird balance move across, and then you get some edges and you mantle on the box, basically. A little bit more straightforward.
And number 2 for the women. Who's at this one?
This is one of mine.
I thought it might be with the kind of hand jam, almost.
No, not really. You can if you want to.
Okay.
Bit easier, maybe if you stuff a hand in. It's just a big jug. But I think the way they'll all try it is without a hand jam. You don't need to at all. It's just it's a very good hold on one side and sloping on the other side. You just have to transfer from one side to the other.
And this looks pretty promising from Kim. We didn't see him up until here.
Oh, he's got his toe on.
Again, looks like a desperate move. Is there any black tape in that corner?
No, I don't think so.
Or is it too far to reach anyway?
You can't get in there.
Okay.
Oh, that'll sting in the shower. Just scraped his shin down the lip of that volume. Here's a close-up.
Oof.
Boom. Oh.
That's what cyclists call road rash,
Yeah.
volume rash. So he's been close. No tops on this rotation as yet.
Oh, she's back on the canoes, the blue canoes, as we like to call them, these 2 big volumes under the roof.
She got the first boulder on her second attempt. Billy closest to the crane camera here. I haven't seen much of younger Oceana McKenzie, but we'll see her as the rotation goes by. This is actually her first World Cup. And here she is.
Oh, the classic traversing the footholds. I think she'll probably find she's stuck now.
I take it this was a...
But having a great time.
Yeah, I take it this was a method you attempted.
No.
Never failed to be surprised.
Because that would be hand traversing the footholds. Oh, good effort there from Kim.
Going quick, the way to go there.
Yeah. It's a funny move because you're inside. You can't see, like when you do the mantle, your face is very close to the wall and you can't see the finishing hold. So as you stand up and you start to fall backwards, suddenly the finish hold comes into view. If you're quick enough, you can grab it.
Oscar not seemingly having another go on your boulder.
No.
Nothing personal.
Fair dues.
So
here's Billy again. See a lot of Billy trains at the climbing works. I think we mentioned the climbing works before, haven't we? It's a very, very good climbing wall.
I hear it's the host of quite a popular international competition.
Certainly is.
Name escapes me right
Yeah.
now. So here's Alexei Rubtsov and Sierra Blair Coyle. Alexei only just through from the qualifying round.
Yeah, at the opposite ends of the spectrum. I think Sierra, she's not doesn't get to semis very often. Alexei normally cruises through, but had a bit of a struggle yesterday. The men were brutalised yesterday in qualification. It was a particularly hard tour. The B tour for the men was.
Oh well, I was doing the interviews at the far end, and we caught Yerney Kruder and Alex Cavanaugh, and they looked like they'd just been 12 rounds of Mike Tyson. They looked absolutely battered.
Yeah.
It was a hard set.
Quite right, yeah. Well, it's a World Cup. It's 2018. This is.
Yeah, well,
this is how it's going to be.
Well, no one complained. I think everyone agrees with you. We've certainly had rounds this year that have been too easy.
Yeah.
And particularly in the qualifiers, and I don't think anyone was complaining. But They were certainly made to work for their place in the top 20.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of competitors. You know, it's this qualification round. Very, very strong field. Alexi going well here. Needs to get his foot up. Yeah. See what he can do here.
Yeah, was yesterday an anomaly.
Yeah, it would seem so. He's looking good here.
Could be about to see the first top of this men's one.
Yeah, needs to keep it together. Needs to flash it if he can.
It's a bit of a heartbreaking.
Yeah,
If he drops
nice
it here, hangs on to it. Nice work from Alexi. Good start to the semi-final.
Yeah, he's happy with that. Yeah, the wall here not super steep. This first men's problem is on the on one of the steeper profiles.
Do you like the profile of the wall? It's certainly very complex. There's all sorts of different angles and corners.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's you know, it poses a few more challenges for the route setters from the point of view that there's not a lot of opportunity to put dual problems, symmetrical problems if you like, in the qualification round, because there's not a lot of space on the wall where there's you know the same angle. I think we managed it on for one problem in yesterday's qualification, and they were pretty close together. So, but yeah, to set on it's great. I mean, there is a lot of very gentle angles on it, if you like. You know, just gently overhanging. The slabs, there's a few slabby areas, but they're quite a steep slab. It's not. They're only just off vertical, so yeah, it's very, very nice to set on.
Here's Sierra, had a great day yesterday. First semi-final of the year for her.
Yeah,
she was close in Taiwan.
Yeah,
but
she could do well here. She likes slabs.
I had a question actually from Jeremy Lint on Twitter. He wants to know who's the maker of those Rubik's holes, and are they slippery? What's the texture like on them?
The texture is very good, and they're made by Aix, which is written on all of them. There you go, the clue's written on the volume. I think it's maybe a French company.
Probably Aix-en-Provence, perhaps.
Yeah.
So this looks like a good start from Sierra. Just needs to
she
jimmy the left foot up.
Oh, good flexibility from Sierra. She could do well here. She could do well here. Word on the street is she can slab climb.
She's a very good slide climber. I think she'll get on with this wall very well. Would be a first final appearance for her if she was to make it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But just something to keep an eye on. Had a really good day in qualifiers. Comfortably her best day, I think, of 2018 in the World Cups. Can she convert it? Oh, Tomoaki confident going with one hand. Perhaps kept the right hand down just for balance.
I think he might go with both hands next time.
Yeah, I think he will. Looked like he might hang on to it for a second.
Yeah. Well, he did hold on to it for a second.
Yeah. But sadly, not enough seconds.
Yeah.
Not with the other hand as well.
So Alma struggling with this move here. This is a very, very burly top move. You have to match his undercling, but it's very flat.
This was him going.
Oh, he was close there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one how he kept his right hand down. As I say, perhaps it was for balance, just stop himself swinging slightly.
Yeah,
Seems strange.
I think he just think that I think that he just felt like he had it, and then he didn't.
If he drops it now, he'll never forgive himself. He's getting plenty of encouragement. Doesn't need to rush quite as much as he is doing.
No, he's done it again.
I can only assume he feels like he's going to pendulum to the left.
Yeah.
And he's trying to stop it with the right hand. So he doesn't get it, touches the top hole twice, but without converting. 5 minutes up, 5 minutes starts again. Mikael Marwem climbing on men's one. Claire Burfind, women's one.
Well, I think we'll see the first climbers on the third problem as well now.
Yeah, Oscar and Kim make their way even further right. We are going left to right in today's semi-final, so there's no climbers crossing over. So, first chance to have a look at these third boulders. Both relatively long. Seems quite a few moves in each one.
Yeah, I mean the men's boulder, it's that's, you can see there's a change in angle, a vertical change in angle. The right hand side where most of the holds are, it's pretty much plumb vertical. The start part is slightly slabby, so they just start both hands, both feet on this volume. Little step across. and then you to match feet, kick your foot out there where he did there. I mean, the black hole that he's going to is very good, but they're these dual texture holes, so there's only one part that's any good, the rest of it's shiny.
Now, Mikhail Marwem, two semi-finals for him so far, and he narrowly missed out in Taiwan, 21st place. I think a lot of neutrals would like to see him in a final. He's a real entertainer.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and his brother won the last Speed World Cup in Taiwan, Bassa.
Oh, Billy Rydell. Nonchalant.
Yeah, and again went with one hand, but it was the right hand, and it seemed much more effective. So we've seen a couple of ways of doing it. Kim Marshner went full commitment, both hands.
Yeah, he got nicely tucked in there, facing to the left.
Tomoaki went with the left hand only, it didn't work. Billy Rydell goes with right hand only, and it works great.
Yeah, Tomoaki was very face on, you know, like he was just facing straight into the wall, and I think as you stand up you get pushed out and he was off, whereas Billy was turned, he was facing to the left, his body was sideways, and I think that you know, it just brings your hips in close to the wall. Oh, Kim is about to enter the thundercling section.
Is this one of yours?
No.
You had a go on it?
Yeah, this is from another one of the Japanese setters, Akito. So this hole has only got texture at its bottom. It's got an edge at the bottom.
So what I mean, can you push under it with your palms? Is it big enough?
Or you can. Fingers, thumbs is best. 2 thumbs. He'll find it in a minute. There you go. There's one. And I think
you can see him thinking.
And here comes another one. Oops.
Oh, you could see him thinking, oh no, it's thumbs only.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very technical, and as you can see, the feet are dire. It's one of those. A lot of these slab problems. You'll see people, I think, getting the footholes brushed a lot because the mats are quite chalky. You want to try and keep everything footholes nice and clean and your shoes clean. So let's go back on women's 3. It's going well here. You should just hold the side of the ball.
And we saw Sierra top in number 1 earlier. That was a flash. So she's off to a cracking start. More Aches volumes.
Yeah, the golf ball.
You've had a huge selection of holds and volumes to work with here.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I think the organisers they rent all the holds and volumes for the competition, so they can rent. Yeah, whoever their rental supplier is, they supply pretty much every hold from every manufacturer in the world. Their selection has been absolutely incredible.
Let's have a look at Kim. He's the way the lighting's working right now, climbing in the semi-darkness. There we go, the spotlight finds him now.
Okay, let's see what he can do here.
So he's kind of matched his high point. He was just a bit further left, but this was the hole he got to last time.
Ooh.
So I suppose looking at it, the crux is getting onto the second foot.
Yeah, you match the undercling, or the thumdercling as it's been named. So you take it with both your thumbs, and then you push up and you kind of push into the red volume above it.
This is Oceana McKenzie, looking pretty solid on women's 2.
So the whole crux of this problem is matching this undercut on the left.
She needs to be quick.
It's a big undercut. It's very flat. And it's a burly move.
She'll hear the beeps in 1 second. Not quite. She got the zone though. Slight shift in emphasis on the scoring system means those zones are much more valuable than bonuses used to be under the old scoring system, so that could come in handy. Gabri Maroney is out, and Alana Yip, you can see in the black top on the far side of him. No joy for Claire Burfind.
Yeah, we didn't see any. We didn't see Claire on the footage there, but
she is absolutely a climber to keep an eye on in the next few years, with the Olympics looming. A true all-rounder. She's not really a two-discipline climber that does the other one. She is an all-rounder. She won the Innsbruck Youth World Championship combined, and the boulder and the lead separately. Made the lead final in Paris in 2016. Been in boulder semis. Keep an eye.
Oh, Alexi on the step across.
Yeah, had a dream start on number 1.
Possibly about to have a nightmare on number 2. Oh, look at this. Bit of Russian style there. He's doing something very unpleasant to the corner of that volume.
Tomoaki tries his luck on number 3.
Needs to get his feet across really, step out on that left foothold, and then come into this undercling hold. You can see the red volume above. Again, you just push on that. There's absolutely nothing on it pretty much. It's the least slopey parts underneath, and you can just settle, put your left hand up on it, and then you pounce on the top hold like a panther on its prey. Here he comes now. Can he match it? Yes. Yeah, nice. Come on. Yeah, into here. Right, he needs to go.
So don't set yourself for too long, you think, just go.
No, there's no point in savouring it. He needs to get on with it. I don't think he was savouring it. I think he was... Yeah, there we go. The face says it all.
So he got himself set. It's a long way, that pounce, as you describe it.
It is, yeah.
I wish I was here when you were testing to see your panther impression.
I'd do a very good panther impression. The best thing is about the pounce is that when you get there, the top hole's not very good either. So who'd have thought it? Oh, Alexi.
That is a replay. I'm just looking across at the stage, yep.
Oh, and Gabri going well as well on men's 1.
This is live now on Gabri Moroni. We've got a good view of the stage from our position. Top from him. Brilliant climber. And he gets number 1 done. Made the final in Moscow, you might remember, 6th place there. Here's Alana Yip. No final for her in 2018. She got one last year in Chongqing. She's on the creep. I almost feel like we should be quiet when we watch them on traverse it across these Rubik's Cubes.
Well, yeah, you don't want to put her off.
Fear not, we're a long way from the wall here. And the MC's making plenty of noise. Just saw Sierra in the background. We haven't seen her yet on women's 2. She hasn't got the zone yet.
No, she's having a bit of a tussle with these slopey volumes on the lip of the roof. Alana going well here. She's got the zone. And here's Alma on women's 3.
Got the zone on her 3rd attempt.
Alma matching all the holds. Come on, Alma. That's the best way to cross over to that little jib on the top of the golf balls and then reach around and just kind of compress. Tomoaki again.
Yeah, Tomoaki got here and further. He's had, again, two boulders in a row. He's touched the top hole with his left hand. Be frustrated if he doesn't get this done. How often do we see it where the early attempts are better? Seems to be the case with him.
Yeah, first go, best go.
So Alana, I think she
just needs to stay calm.
Yeah, she doesn't like the look of either the heel hook or putting her left foot out, but she's going to have to do one of them.
I think she's going to go... Ooh, interesting. Yeah, nice.
Nicely done. Clever climbing.
Oh, yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, it's really clever from her. Didn't really fancy wanging her left foot up.
No, Tomoaki, he's got 8 seconds left. And he's out
Time
there.
is up. He shakes his head. As I say, frustrating round for him. Frustrating last 2 boulders. Touched the top hold. Not converted either. So Jason.
Oh, Jason Hollowatch.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing him climb. Sean McCall didn't make it, and he said on social media last night he didn't want to say anything before the competition, but he is carrying a shoulder injury which he picked up recently. He had a bad day in the qualifiers yesterday, Sean. No tops, but his compatriot Jason does make it into the semi-final. Here's Futaba Ito. We seem to be mentioning the Innsbruck Youth World Championships a lot today, but she was another star of it. Won the Youth B combined, the Youth B boulder, and was 3rd in the Youth B Olympic format for Futaba Ito. Another immensely strong Japanese climber. This is Oscar on number 4.
Here's a good view of women's 4. Look at that left foothold. That's the key.
Okay.
That happens a lot. You're going to see that happening a lot.
You think we might see some more volume rash picked up?
I very nearly had a nasty accident on this involving a part of my body I won't mention. Yes, narrowly missed clattering myself quite unpleasantly on the corner of that. Much to the mirth of all the other route setters, I might add. They thought it was the best thing they'd ever seen. But if you want to know how hard it is setting these problems, you need to check out Katja Vidmar's shins from testing women's 4. It's one of those things where you skid off and you bang your shin and you think, oh gosh, I don't want that to happen again, and then the next go you do exactly the same thing in the same place.
In the same spot.
Yeah.
That was Mikael Moem topping number 2.
Oh, Billy looking good here. Shaking slightly. You've got a lot of trying to push all your weight down onto your feet just to get them to stick. He's alright, he's just having a lie down. It's jet lag probably.
Here's Futaba. Just 4 Japanese women out of 17 who took part in the qualifiers made it through to the semi-finals. Not the conversion rate they'd have been hoping for. You might remember last year in Hachioji we had 10 out of 20 men Japanese. This is Claire on number 2.
She might like this, Claire. It might be up her street.
This is number 2, isn't it? Yeah, number 2. Women's 2.
Yeah, really burly.
So Futaba,
oh dear,
gets there and realises it's actually useless and she needs to sort her feet out.
Uh-oh.
Don't think that's going to work. I think she's going to try it anyway. No, she's not.
No, she's going to, I think. Has just got a foot on.
Really interesting to see the difference. I mean, Alana Yip clearly didn't fancy that move, but much more experienced and just found a way to get round it.
Yeah.
You could see Futaba, the cogs were turning, but in the end, she just had the hip flexibility to just chuck the left foot up.
All about the left foot.
So this is the one you were talking about.
Yeah, this is, if you ever fancy a problem that you may well scrape your shin on, this is the one to do. It's, the feet are just about. I mean, it's possible. Like, it's got done lots while we were testing it, but it's one of those where having a great big pair of shoes, nice big baggy sloppy pair of shoes, getting maximum rubber down on the holes is definitely an advantage. If you've got a really tight pair of down-turned shoes, it's just not going to happen for you. Then you just need a pair of long socks and some shin guards.
Keep an eye at the top left of your screen. Scores coming up as this stands, very early days of course. So we haven't really seen anything of men's 4. Super burly boulder it would seem.
Yeah, Manu Hassler special.
So much subtlety to this one?
It's a unique Hassler combination of both power and finesse. You know, and speed really. I mean, that is, I suppose, what power is. It's strength and speed, but yeah, it's got a bit of everything. Coordination. I think what you'll see later on in one of the finals boulders, it's been named. Well, I've decided that I'm going to call it the Manu Hassler Greatest Hits boulder, or now that's what I call Manu Hassler. You'll be able to tell which one it is. That's all I'll say.
Manu Hassler, no joy for Jason. Manu Hassler, the chief route setter here in Hachioji. I don't think Kim's going to get this one done. Let's have a look at the first move.
So we saw the same sort of move yesterday in men's qualification. There was a symmetrical boulder, and it's the same sort of thing, a jump where you have to catch a hole which isn't good enough just to stick on its own. So you have to catch it and then bring your other hand into an undercling and compress and try and squeeze enough to keep your hand on the top hold.
So Katja Kiprianova, Misha Picolruaz, both climbers who've made finals capable of big results. But climbing in the first half of today's semi-final. Misha picked up a silver medal in 2016 in Japan. Katja's already been in a final, 4th in Chongqing this year. This is Tomoaki, who's had a close but no cigar round so far.
Tomoaki proved me wrong straight away there by keeping his hand on the start hold and jumping to that Tajitsu, that big slopey red thing.
And absolutely cruising this bowler. This might make his previous
really
failures on 2 and 3 even more frustrating.
Easy.
Bounce to the crowd.
think that suited his style perfectly. Made that look easy.
So this is Alexei, number 3. Mentioned it earlier, didn't have his best day in the qualifiers, but he's off to a good start in the semis.
The judge is going to stop him there. He didn't start in the right place.
Top both the first 2 boulders, just having the start clarified.
Now remember the change in the rules this year, they have to control the start holds. That means they can't just jump on.
You can't just touch the start holds.
Yeah, they need to just pull on and then, you know, just start.
Control the starting hand holds, we should clarify.
Yeah, yeah.
You can just tap the feet if you want, but you have to control the hand holds. So there's Alexei, the light doing quite a good job of making it look very dramatic. The silhouette on the wall. And Misha
going well here.
He's going really well on number 1. Reasonably good top hold as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that, of course. He does now. Top for him.
Yeah, he's well happy with that.
Nice in the semi-final as well. Earns himself an extra bit of rest.
Here's Gabri.
Ken Patrick, Gabriel Moroni.
Yeah, look, facing left here, like we saw Billy Rydell do before. And then it's, yeah, easy.
Relatively tall Gabri, but still really smoothly done. Still a long way even for the tall to get from that crouching position. Catcher on number 1. We're in this middle phase of the semi-final where it's just climbers all over the wall. Tops going on left, right and centre. And we're about to see a top here. She's done a nice job rotating her hips directly into the wall, but still doesn't look especially comfortable, doesn't look that keen to let go of the red volume. Now she commits.
She is crimping that. That's
nicely done. I think she was actually
Russian
kind of
style,
pulling on that top hold.
Oh, Sierra here, look. Having a torrid time. Come on, Sierra. Yeah, she's alright. These are, maybe she knows these holds pretty well, her American holds.
So she didn't get anything on number 2, but she looks to be having a good go on number 3. This is Alexei on men's 3.
The rising chalk dust giving a lovely effect on this. Look. It's like a disco ball. Yeah, come on,
so
Alexei.
Set, and as you were saying earlier, yeah, don't pause too long.
Yeah, you just have to. It's very hard to keep the pressure on your feet. As soon as you lose. Oh, Alma doing very well here. We can see a top on this one. Oh no.
Is that the move where you can wang your shins if you're not careful?
Basically, all the time you're standing on that, it's like a time bomb. You're just waiting for one of your feet to blow, and then you're out there. You've got to just got to kind of be confident and keep moving on it. That's a shame. We might see Alma do that yet, though.
This is Alana Yip, number 2. Got plenty of time for another go, but it's energy a factor because she's got a pretty physical third boulder as well. Yeah. She might well have had a look across and figured that out.
Here's Alma. Yeah, she's like, see, she's just confident, moving her feet, keeping the pressure on. She's got her heel down, and this is the yeah, she's in.
So the next hold is the top. It's out to the left. There it is. Just come into the shot.
Yeah, she's going to do it. Yes, that's it. Look, she's got a foot on top of that volume now. Fantastic. That's a really good effort.
Took her time to figure that one out. Gets it done with 9 seconds to spare.
I think we'll see a lot of attempts on that one from the climbers.
One of those boulders as well where when they figure it out, you can see them thinking, why didn't I do that earlier? Yeah. But you just need a bit of time, a bit of mileage on it. So Tomoka Meichi Narasaki out, and Tomoko Kojima. His compatriot, she'll be on women's 1. Jason and Futaba move on to number 2. You can see in the background Claire Burfine, Mikhail Marwem. Billy Rydell right down the end.
I guess we can see footage of a lot of the Japanese climbers, given that the feed's from the Japanese TV, but I think Claire Burfine might find women's 3 up her street.
Yeah, that's Meichi Narasaki we've just seen on number 1. Younger brother of Tomoa, but I think the IFSC should maybe ask for identification on that one. He certainly doesn't look like the younger brother. That's 8 inches taller and he looks older as well. We'll take his word for it. Oceana Mackenzie, number 4.
Let's see if she can get her feet to stick.
So no tops for her so far, but a zone on number 2. First World Cup, made the semi-final. Surely happy with that result. I'll try and grab an interview with her after the semi.
Yeah, we've not seen many Australian competitors in semi-finals in the last year or two, so it's good to see them back. Mikel Moem on men's 2 there. He might do well on this.
Number 3.
Yeah. Is that what that's what I meant?
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
I know what you meant. It does get awfully confusing in the middle of a boulder semi-final. You've got 8 climbers, 8 boulders, and they swap every 5 minutes. This is Futaba creeping out.
Yeah, quite tiring, but it's not one that you can rush this. You just need to take your time. But yeah, if you have too many goes, it's super easy to get powered out. Let's just see if the camera stays on it for this top section. So the crack's good, lay back in it that way. You get the undercling, get your feet across, and then try and flip your hand. But you have to try and keep your feet on this slopey feature on the lip, and it's really not very good.
Just a potential point of interest, you've got Futaba Ito, 10 metres to her right, Claire Burfind. What price on those two being in an Olympic final 2 years from now, right here in Tokyo?
Yeah, you never know.
So here's Meichi, the taller and younger of the Narasaki brothers.
Oh, a big guy in a small space there.
Yeah, unusual method. That was a lot of human to fit in, as I say, quite a small space.
He's a very small person in quite a big space.
And that is extreme hip flexibility. She still can't reach. Is she going to need to move the right foot up?
No, she's good. One
She
of the
is
smallest people in the semi-final, I think.
Japanese crowd, there was a wince from then as she moved the left foot up.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone over the age of 28 wincing at that move.
There's Mikel again.
So we actually haven't seen a top on this boulder. It almost feels like we have, because we've seen so many climbers getting close.
Yeah, no, women's 2's not at the top yet. Men's 3's not at the top. Women's 3 not at the top. Everything else has been done. Which is more or less how we'd expect it at this stage in proceedings. We've seen probably half the competitors now.
Yeah, coming up for next climber out will be 10th.
Oh, look at the rubber strap she's left on that volume. That's great. That's a good example. She must have slid a good 8-10 inches down that volume before she actually fell off.
Better that than your shin, I suppose.
Yeah.
So here's Meichi trying again. This looks much more promising. He's just got to pop that right hand up onto the... There we go. You can see him trying it.
From the bad hold to the really bad hold.
Doesn't fancy another go.
Well, fair dues.
This is Futaba, I'm pretty sure, going to run out of time. Also runs out of energy. Ditto Mikel Malwem. These are all live. Claire Burfind's just dropped off number 3. Oceana Mackenzie's going to run out of time on number 4. So Yuji Fujiwaki makes his way onto the stage. Kyra Kondi, finalist last time out in Taiwan, climbing on women's 1. She had a great day in the qualifiers yesterday, 5 tops. If you're watching at the top of the broadcast, you'll have seen my interview with her after the qualifiers. You can check it out on YouTube as well. Seems to be in a rich vein of form. She's been training here in Japan since the last competition in China. So Sierra and Alexi on number 4. Sierra picked up just a 1 top so far. Excuse me. That was a flash of number 1.
Yeah, Sierra could go well on women's 4. I think she's been very like an impressive form on the slabs particularly, and this might well suit her.
Well, if she can get it done quickly, she'll have 2 tops, 3 zones, and not many attempts. So that'd be a pretty handy score looking at this set.
No problem for Alexi on the power problem.
So Percy, your work is done.
Yeah.
We'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time talking us through the boulders.
No worries.
Some excellent insight, and I'm praying that nobody completely scalps himself on women's 4 now. Wish you hadn't told me about that.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. We'll let you get down the front.
All right.
Cheers,
brilliant.
Percy.
Cheers, thank
Bye
you.
bye. So Gabri Moroni creeping out left, and we've got a substitute coming in for Percy. No joy for Gabri, that's number 3. This is Sierra on number 4. And welcome to the commentary box. What's your name and where'd you come from?
I'm Lucy Sterling from Australia.
Welcome. The first time I've had you in the commentary box since VLAR 16, I think it was.
Yeah.
Tried a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just missed each other.
Yeah, that's all right. But
Thank you for joining me. We've just seen Alana Yip, and we've also seen your compatriot Oceana McKenzie. Amazing for her.
yeah, no, I'm so excited for Osh. She climbed really, really well. It was so awesome to be able to watch her in semi-finals. The problems looked really, really hard, but yeah, I think she climbed really well, so she should be really proud.
Top there for Misha Pukoruaz. Yeah, what's been your first impression? We'll start with the women's boulders as we all watch Sierra creepy up number 4. We saw a tough set, particularly for the men yesterday in the qualifiers, and it looks like the women have got 4 pretty hard boulders in today's semi.
They certainly do. That first one looks quite confusing. With all those boxes, I think it would be quite the mental game trying to not get,
Yeah, we saw Oceana traversing the footholds with her hands.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Well, it worked fine until she had to get on top.
Yeah.
This could be a top from Sierra Blair Coyle. Percy Bishon, who's just left, called it and said she should.
So close.
Yeah, she should get on with this boulder.
Getting close.
You're not going to get much closer. Both hands on the top. Certainly couldn't claim control, and she doesn't even look at the judges. She knows that's not a top. Catch a kipper in over. This is number 2.
Those moves across those big, large holds, they look really hard. Just looks so slopey, and that hold doesn't look very good, especially with a lot of people on it. It just gets so slippery really quickly.
This is Kyra, number 1. 6th in Taiwan. Amazing result for her last time, and she's had the benefit of training here in Tokyo for the last few weeks on the amazing facilities they've got here, and she gets the top. I think that one was in doubt, judging by her body language. This is Gabri Moroni creeping out. I haven't seen a top yet of men's 3. Very tenuous last few moves. What he's got to do is match that, pop onto the left hand red volume and then leap, but he's out of time. This is Alana. She'll certainly have the zone. Don't think she'll have a top unless she really flies.
Such a strenuous climb, this one.
Yeah, the women have got 2 really brutal boulders right in the middle.
Right in the middle, yeah.
So no tops as yet on women's 2 or women's 3. And we're into the top half of the semi-final. The 11th climbers out. Angie Prehak, Slovenia, closest to the camera. There he is. And joining him, we just saw her briefly make her way across the stage. There she is, Michaela Tracy of Great Britain. First of 2 British women in the semi-final. Shauna Coxey will be climbing 14th. That's Futaba Ito on number 3. When you were climbing the qualifiers yesterday, what are the conditions like on the stage? Because it's cold in the arena. I don't exaggerate to say it's cold either.
It was hot.
It's hot on the stage.
Hot. It's cooler than back in the warm-up area, but it was quite warm out on the wall. It might be a little bit cooler today, but yeah. And there's also a lot of chalk on the mats. I'm sure that's probably a bit less today, given the numbers that were at during the qualifiers, but hopefully the mats are a lot cleaner this time.
That was the top for Meichi on number 2, and Mika Omar went flying on number 3. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I mean, our commentary position, we're right by the air conditioning unit. Our director spent most of yesterday in a down jacket.
Yeah.
So when the climbers were coming down and complaining of the heat on the wall, it was kind of hard to believe.
Yeah, I know, you end up sweating a lot on the wall. But it's such a contrast to outside because it's so hot.
What about behind the wall? Is it a bit cooler behind the wall?
Yeah, it's cooler.
Aircon doing its thing behind the wall?
Definitely. It's quite dark as well. So
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? It's not really lit behind the wall.
No. Gets you in the mode though, in the zone.
See Jason on the right there on men's 3. He's, as it stands, just checking the results, top for him on number 2. That's had quite a lot of top men's too. Jason got it done, but nothing on men's 3, which, as I say, still hasn't been done. Some quite strong climbers been on it as well. Not only Jason, but Gabriele Moroni, Alexei Rubtsov, Mikhail Marwem all had their attempts. This is Futaba Ito on women's 3, so no problem up to the zone. Incredibly impressive young climber. Getting plenty of encouragement from the Japanese crowd, as you'd imagine, just trying to match that zone, and manages it.
Oh,
Drops
almost.
it. And you've been training over here in Japan.
Yeah, well, I arrived a week ago.
But you're staying for a while, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm staying for 6 weeks. I'm going to train up north a bit of Tokyo, and hopefully they'll whip me into shape here.
We hear a lot about the quality of the Japanese facilities. What have your first impressions been this first week?
Oh, amazing. Oh, even just being, spending time in Japan, training at the gyms, I think you could get a lot stronger. The route setting's stunning. It's just great quality gyms in general. I haven't been to heaps. I've been to B-Pump Ojikubo?
Okiku.
Something like that. And Base Camp Tokyo.
Okay.
They were both awesome. So I'm keen to see a few more gyms and train with some people. So yeah, it's going to be a good 6 weeks, I think.
Near miss there from Michaela Tracy. I'm just looking across the stage. Nobody super high on a boulder right now. And the Japanese, just going back to your 6-week training trip, the Japanese team mentality also comes across. They really support each other. Is that something you found in the gyms? You're not just training as an individual?
Well, we've been lucky because we've got our Australia team kind of training together, so we've been a bit of a team as well, which is great. But
top for Mikhail Marwem.
Everyone's so lovely, even with the language barrier, you seem to get along. But I think really that's a sport of climbing.
As Futaba 30 seconds ago, getting a bit hacked off, and you can see why. Just looking across the stage again, Claire Burfine is on number 4. Kayla Tracy, with 20 seconds to go, has got time to do women's 1. Here she is. She just needs to figure out a way of freeing her hands up long enough to top. And she knows that's not a top. She didn't even look at the judges. That's a shame for her. Couldn't quite figure out a way to get the left foot out. So no more tops in that round. Good top from Mikhail Marwem. And here's his compatriot, closest to the camera, Manuel Cornu. Mentioned it earlier. I think a lot of people would like to see him in the final after the show he put on in Meiringen. Somehow ended up 6th. I'm still not quite sure how. It felt like he was almost the star of the show.
Oh, it's so hard with the number of bonuses and the tops. You can be so close, but yet so far. It really separates them out, I think.
His stasher as well. Had a bit of a more stressful qualifying day than she maybe needed to. She wasn't awarded a top that she should have had, and she had to appeal and get it. And it all looked a bit more stressful than it needed to be. She ended up qualifying well, but it certainly wasn't a cruise. Expended a lot of emotional energy, not to mention physical, and had a couple of near misses on boulders. Just a few incidents, but got through very well indeed. Climbs 12th, having qualified 8th. A top there from Gabriele Marura, very nearly a top. Don't want to speak too soon. There it is. I think he knew that was close. Feet cut off at the key moment. Now the Japanese organisers, you might be able to hear in the background, have handed out, I don't know what they're called, those two plastic balloons that you bang together to make noise that we see in football stadiums. Yeah, I know. If we get too many of them, well, luckily I was actually handed a Tokyo 2020 Olympic pin that you put on your T-shirt, so that could come in quite handy if they all need popping.
Yeah.
If we get too many, but if you do hear some clattering nearby, that's what it is. Thank the organiser. This is Katja looking pretty close on women's 3. This will be the first top of it if she can do it. She's got the right, she's got the left, and she's got the top. I think you can see how much that took out of her. She got it done relatively quickly in terms of overall time. She was on the boulder a long time. A glance across the stage and she'd been on there a long time. And it's brutal, those kind of moves where you're hugging it with pretty much all 4 limbs.
Bear hugging your way up, basically.
And I think that shot for the top hole, that was one shot. If she'd missed that, she was back down at the start. This is Stasha just trying to figure out what to do with the feet. We've seen a few methods on this. Alana Yip very neatly just walked her feet up. We've also seen a heel hook on the right hand volume.
And if the first time I've seen the back step.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
If you're tall enough, you can reach it with your right foot on the blue volume. No worries for Stasha. Semi-final off to a good start. That's Kyra Condi fighting hard on number 2. She took 5 attempts to do the first boulder. Here's Alana Yip. Percy Bisham was talking about the potential for skin removal on your shins on this boulder. Creeping up. Alma Besvarta top that one, so it has been done. So it's only women's 2 as it stands on the women's side that hasn't been done, and men's 3 on the men's, which is Misha Pokoroa currently climbing. Yeah, those tricky moves out left. No one's quite found a way. Tomoaki Takata had a really good go at it.
Those big round red footholds are only going to get worse as well.
Climbing in the gyms around Tokyo, you must see all these volumes. It must be an advantage for people that have been climbing here a lot recently.
Yeah, I noticed a few different holds and volumes that I've never seen before climbing the gym, so it was quite an advantage coming a little bit earlier, getting used to them, and yeah, bit different.
Manuel Cornu, here he is on men's 1. A bit like we saw on Meiichi Narasaki, there's a lot of person to fit into a small space. Looking promising from Yuji Fujiwaki, looking very promising. Top for him, 19 seconds to go. Manuel Cornu, 12 seconds time, really a factor here. 10 seconds of the 5 minutes remaining. Needs to find a way, and he just can't get himself set. Needs to launch. It's a reasonable hole at the top, but you just need to get closer than that. It's not been busy men's 1, just the 3 tops out of 12 climbers so far. Yulia Pantelieva of Russia and Alex Kazanov of Israel climbing. Alex, winner in Tai'an. What a moment that was. He received a yellow card for his celebration. You all know what I'm talking about. On the top boulder, but amazing moment all the same. Despite the slightly industrial language being used. With Alex, we've always known he's got the horsepower. Sometimes it feels like quite open about the fact, he's quite open about the fact that it's often been the mental side that's let him down. How will that have changed since his win? We shall see. Meiichi Narasaki again struggling with that creep over to the left on men's 3. This is Futaba looking pretty handy on women's 4. And I think she'll bring it home now. She could really do with her left foot being a bit higher on that volume, but manages it anyway, so top for her. Topped a couple of times now, that boulder. Our best Vata, and now Futaba Ito tops it as well. Yeah, so Percy Bishop was saying if you just get your left foot on top of that hold, it's even better, but she didn't need it. This is Yulia Pantelieva. 8th in Taiwan. She's on a pretty good run. Made a couple of semis in the 2 Chinese World Cups in 2017 as well. Here's Meichi. He's had a World Cup podium before, and he could be about to have a World Cup semi-final top. Percy Bishton, who we had earlier in the commentary box, was saying you don't want to linger here, you just want to get on with it. And men's 3 gets topped. Really well done from Meichi.
That was impressive, Beta, to get up there.
Yeah, that'll be 2 tops on the first 3 boulders for him. So he paused for a while.
And then powered through.
Yeah, well, Percy, who we had for the first 45 minutes or so of the semi-final, was saying that the way to do that is once you get the left hand on that red volume, don't really pause, just go. So I was surprised Meichi kind of jimmied his right hand around, looked as if he was trying to find a more comfortable position, and then launched.
Yeah.
He still made it count.
Yep, probably tried to find it and couldn't.
Alex Cavanaugh, can he become the 4th person to top number 1? It's got 1 minute and 45. That's where he's heading for. That's the top of men's 1. Top hole pretty good by World Cup standards.
The holds before it are pretty terrible though.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
If you could get a ladder to about 1 metre below the top, you'd be fine.
Right.
So Alex, just take his time. Not blowing through the attempt. You can't really, it's a physical boulder, and when he looks right across the stage, you'll know that he's got a few more physical boulders to come. Minute left, that was the beat you might have heard. Tomoko Kojima. She was there on women's 3. This is Michaela Tracy on number 2. Here's Jason, number 4. He's not going to have much time. Hasn't got the zone, so he's only going for the zone there. So 1 top and 3 zones. Final score for Jason. Rei Sugimoto also in the final in Taiwan, ended up 4th. And Shauna Coxey, 5 meters to his right. She opted to miss the Chinese World Cups. Still coming back from that finger injury, certainly not 100%. She got 3 tops in the women's qualifiers yesterday, and when I spoke to her immediately after she came down from the wall, she wasn't sure that would be enough to make the semi-final. Such was the difficulty of the round, it got her through in 7th place. Really tough round yesterday for both men and women. Shauna, as I say, wasn't even sure she'd make the semi. Comfortably makes it well into the top half. She's not going to retain her overall World Cup title, Shauna. But sure she'd love another. A win would be nice. Sure, another podium would be nice as well. Let's have a look at Manu. This is on number 2. Oh, it's surprising for Manu. He hit the hole. I think if anything went slightly past it. Misha on number 4 getting a bit frustrated. Stashigeo, there she is. I was just about to say in the background now, centre screen.
Trying to get a hand jam by the looks of things.
Yeah, well, Percy was saying there is a hand jam to be had in there. Still not been topped, that women's 2. Catch on number 4. That move should be slightly easier for the tall. So we've just seen this men's 3 topped. This time, Shauna on number 1. So tenuous standing on top of those Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, they don't look super frictiony.
Apparently they're okay,
They're
but
okay.
the angle is such, and once a dozen or so climbers have tried to creep across them, they get a lot worse. Now what will she do here? She's realised that there's absolutely no friction on that top hole. She can't really pull on it in any meaningful sense. This is good from Rei Sugimoto. I don't think he'll miss this. He won't.
Really no scraping there for Shauna.
Yeah. Shauna's face breathes a sigh of relief. Have a look at Ray. All the emotion and tension of being in isolation and sitting behind the wall, knowing you're about to climb in front of your home crowd, comes out. Just needs to dial it down again now. He's got 3 more boulders. Takara Kondi on women's 3. Top left of your screen, results coming through. A few of the climbers lower down have already finished their rotation. If there's grey squares left, that means that they haven't yet attempted those boulders. So it's only a final score for the people that have all white or brown boxes. Manu lining it up again, got it. So he's touched that hole with both hands, now with the left hand. He's actually going a bit too far. The problem is that the black hole is good, but the white area around it, there's basically no friction. So you've got to be really accurate.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely giving it a bit too much power.
It's not a bad thing to have too much power, but as you rightly say, maybe using a bit too much of that power. He's catcher. 45 seconds left to get number 4 done. It's been topped twice already. Yuji Fujiwaki creeping out left. Men's 3. Saw this topped earlier by Meiichi Narasaki, his compatriot. Now I'm surprised he's going for this again because he's already got the zone. This was Manuel Cornu, presumably this was another attempt again.
Oh,
And he got it done. Nice work from the Japanese director finding that replay. So Manuel Cornu got it done. No, nothing on women's 2 for Stasha. So women's 2, still the only bowler that's not been done. Still got 8 climbers to attempt it, including Julia Pantelieva, who will be on it now. There's Johanna Ferber. And Yene Kruder closest to the camera, leading the overall standings. Meiichi Narasaki fresh from his top of men's 3, the only man to have topped it so far.
Doesn't look like they've dialed down the difficulty on the semi-final round after the hard qualifiers at all.
No, it really doesn't. It'd be interesting to see. I'm just looking now. We've got. So on the men's side, Gabriele Moroni and Alexei Rubsov have got 3 tops. They're the only climbers with 3 tops. And in the women's side, Futaba Ito, Alma Besvata and Katja Kiprianova have got 2 tops, and no one else has got more than 1. So yeah, hard round. 2. I think in the women's side, probably 2 tops, 4 zones might get you in, possibly. Might need 3 tops in to get into the final. Remember, we're looking for 6 climbers in the men, 6 in the women to get into the final. On the men's side, I think you'll probably end up needing 3 tops. Still relatively early days. Time-wise, we're about halfway through the semi-final. But at this stage of the semi, it's big name after big name. Coming up after Yernei Kruder, we've got Tomoa Narasaki, Kai Harada, Kokoro Fuji, Sergei Topishko, and Jongwon Chon. Coming out last over on the women's side, Sol Sa, Fanny Gibert, Katja Kadic, Mio Nanaka, and Akio Noguchi. Have you had an opportunity to climb with either of those two this week?
No, not yet. I'm hoping maybe in the next 6 weeks at some point, but yeah, it would be fantastic to have the opportunity to climb with any of the Japanese teams, I think, so.
Angie, again, tricky boulder this one, men's 3, 1 top so far. It's just plenty of climbers getting to the zone. It's progressing into the upper reaches. It's proving difficult. Is Meichi on number 4, no problem with the reach. He's a tall climber. Johanna with the 2:10 left on the clock. Charlie Bosco and Lucy Sterling here watching this final in Tokyo. I imagine there'll be quite a few people watching in Australia, perhaps less in the States and in Europe. It's a horrible time of the day there.
Yeah. No, we'll have a lot of Australians here watching Osh in the semis, so yeah, everyone's cheering her on. We've also got a massive team from Australia here this year.
There is a big Australian team.
Yeah, it was really, really good to see.
Was this a competition that you guys as a team targeted?
I think we had such good feedback from the last year's competition in Japan, and everybody loved it so much, so everybody wanted to go this year. It's also fantastic climbing around Japan and in the gyms, so it's a great opportunity to get some training in.
We get a chance to do any outdoor climbing?
I hope so. I've been told by my trainer that he can maybe take us outdoors a couple of days, which would be really, really good. I haven't actually heard much about the outdoor climbing in Japan, so I would love to have a look and see what it's like.
I've heard good things, still never had the chance to sample it.
Yeah.
We certainly won't this time. We've got the qualifiers in Vale on Friday.
Yeah, so close this year.
Yeah, we'll biggest determinant of success there could be jet lag. We'll see.
Yeah, the altitude's pretty intense as well around Vale, so that's hard to get used to.
Nothing for Yernei on number 1 and nothing for his compatriot Angie on number 3. Yeah, just 5 days from now we'll have the qualifiers pretty much on the other side of the world. I've sort of lost track of what day it will be where when we arrive because we cross the international date line on the flight over, but there's going to be a real battle in Vale. Transfer into time zone, as you rightly say, transfer into altitude. To add a real element to the Vale competition.
Yeah, I struggled last year with the jet lag for Vale. It was quite difficult. I'd end up awake all night and wanting to sleep all day. So hopefully the athletes won't have too much of a problem this time.
Well, we'll see if they're anything like me. Last night was the first night they actually went to sleep. So just get onto Japanese time and you head off to the States. I think that's what people call a first world problem.
Yeah, well, us Australians have got it pretty good. It's only an hour behind here, so.
Yeah, sadly, this is about as close as you get to a home World Cup.
Yeah. One day we'll get one at home.
Here's Sol Sa, first chance to see her, Tomoa Narasaki as well. Yeah, World Cup wouldn't go amiss in Australia, no problem with me if anyone wants to organise one. James Cassay, if you're sitting at home watching. Just saying.
Just lining up Bayside.
I'm just saying. Uji Fujiwaki there on number 4. Here's Shauna on number 2. Still haven't seen a top here. This one was set by Percy. Him and Shauna both based in around Sheffield, so know each other well. Will she figure out his boulder where no one else has?
Did he say that the beta was to do the hand jam, or?
Well, obviously, because he likes a hand jam, he said it's easier if you do, but to anyone else, it'd probably be much harder. It doesn't look a good hand jam.
No, but the hand swap looks also quite strenuous.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose it's like most hand jamming moves. If you can do it, it's easy. If you can't, it's essentially impossible.
Yeah.
Yuji looked pretty happy with that one. He launched from the top. Oh, got a good hand on that top hold. He got boulder 2, but it's his only top so far. He's got every zone, 1 top 4 zones so far for Yuji. Took him 11 tries to get number 2. Just with the nature of having so many climbers on so many boulders, we don't always get to follow exactly how each climber's doing at any one time. We didn't see his 11 attempts, but he got it done. Persistence rewarded. Samoa shaking out, currently in 2nd place in the overall standings. It seems extraordinary, really, that we're already talking about the overall standings, but this is the 5th World Cup of 7. The boulder season flying by. Rei Sugimoto, men's 2, and the simple volumes. Just keep an eye across the stage. We've got a great view from our commentary position. We're back right of the arena. We can see pretty much the whole stage. Solsa, who we're currently looking at, really the only climber high on a boulder. Manuel Cornu getting close on men's 3. He's at the zone, but we've seen plenty of climbers fall from there. So hopefully our Japanese director will keep us right where we are with Tomoa and Solsa. Now let's have a look at Yuji. Oh, wonder if fatigue just an issue there. So now Shauna trying the hand jam. I think she'll still have to swap hands because her hand's facing out to the right. Just cut away at the key moment. Keep an eye on Shauna. We'll watch Solsa.
She swapped the hand, so.
Yeah, Shauna has managed to swap the hands. Are we about to see the first top of women's 2? No, we're not. So this was Shauna. She got into a really good position. You can't get much closer to the top hold than that. It'd be interesting to quickly ask Percy again, actually, whether you want to try and do what she did and match the left-hand volume or just launch from a bit further away.
It looks like you'd want to have some opposition on that top hold because it's facing so much going up the wrong way. It's not very positive.
Top for Rei Sugimoto. 2 tops, 2 boulders for him. Cut it fine. Had about 10 seconds left by the time he topped it. So Fanny Gibert and Kai Harada make their first appearance on the stage here in Tokyo. We're in the S Forta Arena in Hachioji. We're well out of the centre of Tokyo, but Tokyo is just so vast that Hachioji itself feels like it kind of merges with the city. To give you some idea, I got in the lift in the hotel last night and Miho Nanaka was there and I said, oh, I thought you lived in Tokyo, why in the hotel? And she said, it's too far from my house.
Yeah, yeah.
Tokyo is so vast that even when you get a home World Cup, you still have to stay in a hotel. This is Yoshiyuki, Kai Harada. No Yoshiyuki today, they've got that similar hair colour. No Yoshiyuki. Kai Harada. Yone Kruda on number 2. He didn't do number 1, so he could do with getting this one topped. And his foot slipped just before he launched, but he launched anyway. And he wasn't far off. Got a good hand on the top. I think he can do that one. Johanna Ferber on this brutally physical women's 2, which hasn't yet seen a top. Women's 1 getting done more than it's not. That's had 10 tops so far from 17 climbers. Keep an eye top left of your screen, we'll bring the results for you. And that's Kaya Harada looking hopeful on number 1. And looking pretty happy. Fanny Gibert simultaneously tops women's 1. Chatting to Eddie, the IFSC photographer, who sadly we didn't have the 2 Chinese World Cups. He's back here in Tokyo, and he really thinks Fanny Gibert capable of a big result this weekend.
Yeah, she's looking really, really strong. I've been following her and her progress, and it's quite amazing. She's going to do really well, I think.
Here's Alex Cavanaugh. We didn't see a huge amount of him on number 2. He didn't get it done, and he didn't get the zone, so certainly needs a top here if he's going to even potentially make the final. Jerne Kruder, nice work from him on number 2. Almost got it done on the last attempt, gets it done that time. And he abandoned the funky hairstyles for a while, but he's got this, I really don't know how to describe it, kind of a mohawk. I asked him about it yesterday, and he said, yeah, I don't know how to describe it either, so I have to say it's been about 10 years since I need to worry about describing hairstyles, sadly. But yeah, it's kind of a curving mohawk, flat top, all sorts going on. Anyway, he's got number 2 done. Johanna Ferber not got number 2 done in the women's. Route setters might be slightly nervous that it's not been done yet. There's still plenty of strong climbers to attempt it. Solsa, Fanny Gibert, Katja Kadic, Mihona Naka and Akio Noguchi yet to try their luck on that one. So there's time yet. This is Michaela Tracy. And she's done what seems to have been the trickiest bit of Boulder 4. Generally, climbers have brought it home from here. Goes to the left hand, still working hard though. Could do with repositioning that left foot. Or will she try and match with the right? This is going to be a tricky top out. See the experience from Michaela there though. Managed to find a way of looking down at the judges. So she finishes her rotation. We'll confirm the number of attempts in just a second. 4th attempt, so that leaves her with 1 top of 4 zones, crucially. Shift in emphasis on the scoring system, that could come in pretty handy. Yeah, so Michaela, 4th attempt, gets number 4 done. As it stands, she's in 4th place, but with so much of the semi-final to go, almost certainly won't be enough for a place in the finals. At least she finishes with the top. Now this man, Alex Cavanaugh, really needs to pull something out the bag here, or he's not even going to have a chance to defend being the last World Cup winner. He's not going to. So 5 minutes starts again. That man closest to the camera, Kokoro Fuji, World Cup winner already this year. Katja Kadic is climbing on women's 1. I don't think Katja will have too many trouble with women's 1. I don't want to curse her, but in terms of raw horsepower, just grunt, she's not the strongest climber on the circuit, but her technical climbing, her climbing ability is so good. I don't think she'll have too many troubles with women's 1. This is Stasha, creepy away up number 4. Solsa looking hopeful on women's 2, still hasn't seen a top this one, still won't. It's Tomoa. Comes a top. Walks past Kokoro. He's still going on number 1, and here's Katja. Yeah, I suppose the one problem she might have is she's tall, she's got long limbs. Might make this slightly more awkward.
She's quite flexible though, so hopefully it won't be a problem.
Yeah. Just means there's just a bit more to fit in. What you could do is getting that left foot all the way up to the green volume if you can. And now, again, another tricky move because you've got to rotate that knee. She's being made to work for this one. What you could do is getting that right foot a bit higher. It's all micro movements, this top section of women's one. I wonder if she'll try and adjust or just go from there and rely on balance. Oh, this is extraordinary.
She almost had it.
Yeah, Japanese crowd were living that one with her. I'm just looking around the arena, it's suddenly basically full.
Yeah, it's packed in here.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. Relatively short break actually before the finals. We begin the presentations at 2 p.m. local time, so to give you some idea, it's 10:30 now local time, so that's 3.5 hours from now the presentations begin, and the first climber will be on the wall at 2:30, so it's quite a quick turnaround, I assume, to keep the crowd in the venue. So Stasha at number 4, top for her. So it's beginning to see a few tops at women's 4. Sol Sasa are close. Minute and a half to find a way. Manuel Cornu's climbing on men's 4, as yet without success. No zone on it for him. This is Rei Sugimoto, feet popping. He's not seen a lot of traffic. Men's 3, just the one top so far. That was from Meiichi Narasaki. Interestingly enough, he's one of the taller climbers, Meiichi, so when we see someone like Kokoro, how will he get on with it? Got a while to find out. I was about to say, you can just see the foot of Katja Kadic. You can see all of Katja now. And will she have a rethink? Will she try and pop the right foot higher?
There we
That's
go.
much more smooth. She's been doing my job for me on the qualifying highlights recently. The last 2 events she's done the interviewing for me.
Oh, really?
Always seems to walk past at just the right or wrong moment, depending on whether you like being interviewed, and gets handed a microphone. Here's Rei. No. So 2 out of 3 for Rei Sugimoto so far. No shame in that though. It's a really tough boulder with number 3. Not physical. And you might have seen there, Manuel Cornu not looking particularly impressed on the right hand side of the stage. He'll make his way off. Another big cheer. Miho Nanaka at his 4. There she is. And, Sergei Topishko, another tall climber. Be interesting to see how he gets on men's 3 in around 20 minutes time. Here's Alex on men's 4. Can probably get this boulder done. He's got plenty of power. Miho and Akio, who will be out next, have looked in a league of their own recently in the 2 Chinese World Cups. I have to say, it looked from very early on that, barring a disaster of some kind, it was going to be between the 2 of them, and it was, with Akio winning both of them. Miho's been second in the last 3 World Cups, having won the first one. So worst finish of the season after 4 World Cups for Miho Nanaka is 2nd place. Not been a bad year. She'd love a home win though. She can get off to a pretty good start in the semi-final if she can find something to do with that left foot. We've seen, you can almost see the climbers thinking, we've seen so many climbers at this stage thinking, oh, I've got a top hold, oh, it's rubbish, I need to do something with my left foot. And she does it. Good start for her. This is Kai Harada, having very few problems on men's two.
Look easy.
Certainly did. It's one of them where when they get the method right, it looks easy.
Yeah.
Just checks his scorecard. There's Sergey close to the camera. Brilliant day for him yesterday. Qualified second. Julia Panteliva creeping up number 4. Top left of your screen for the scores. As I say, a grey square on those graphics means that they haven't yet attempted the boulder, so they're only the final scores for climbers with brown and white in the boxes. That seems to be the crux move up to the zone. Huge volume. That is the zone hold. And Sergey looking not too impressed on number 1. Made the first 2 semis of the year, Sergey, with the 13th in Meiringen and 15th in Moscow. But missed the 2 Chinese semis, 29th and 31st in China. This is Johanna Faber, the only Austrian in the semi-final today. Really tough women's 3. Still only seeing the 1 top. That was Katja Kiparinova's flash of it. With a minute left, Alex Cavanaugh in danger of finishing without any tops. I'm just watching it, I thought he was going to just give it up. No, he gives a hold to brush. He wants to finish with a top. Here's Fanny Gibert. Can we see a top of women's 2? It's been a really hard set for the women in the semi-final. Just to give you some idea, still only the top 4 climbers have got 2 tops. No one else has got more than 1. Yene on number 3. So he got number 2 done, he didn't get number 1. It's going to be tight on the men's side. We've currently got 7 climbers with 2 tops, so it'll either be 2 tops and plenty of zones, or maybe even 3 tops required. Still a bit early to say. But Yene won't get that done, so it's going to be tight for him. He can take his frustration out on the brutally physical men's 4. Here's Shauna, women's 4.
Good to see her on this slab. I think she'll do really well. She's a very technical climber.
Yeah, well, she flashed boulder 1 and then she got the other 2 zones, so a second top could put her in a reasonably strong position. As I say, there's only 4 climbers at this stage with 2 tops. Nobody yet got 3 on the women's side, so 2 tops, 4 zones could well see you in. Kia Noguchi, winner of the last 2 World Cups. I have to say, dominant force of the last 2 World Cups. She was pushed by Miho Nanaka, but always looked like the best climber all weekend on both of the Chinese events. How will she get on here? She looked superb in qualifiers yesterday. Oh, lovely artistic shot from the cameraman there.
Yeah.
He's had enough of just following the climber he's been told to follow. He wants to, try something out. Yeah, he wanted to express himself a bit more. This is Tomoa on number 3. His brother did it. Very different build though, but Tomoa got that real spring, that ability to leap from almost nowhere. Percy described it as the Panther Pounce. So he's found the tiny little screw on. I'll keep an eye on him. We're just watching Akio. I think topping number 1. Yes, topping number 1. Let's hopefully go back to Tomoa. He's got himself set and he's got himself to the top.
He looked very comfortable on that.
Just about managed to get there in time. Hopefully we'll get a replay of him on those lower moves, because we haven't seen many periods. We haven't seen many people get this done, get out to that left-hand volume. And that, from Percy's description, is a pretty textbook ascent. Get yourself the left hand out there. That's Jongwon Chan on number 1. There's Shauna Cloxy, closest to the camera. Just had Michaela Tracy come past the commentary box looking a bit frustrated, I have to say. She was saying if only had matched the first one.
She was climbing so well.
Yeah, I mean, well, as it stands, she's in the top 6, but with 1 top and 4 zones, I don't think she'll stay there.
Yeah, might just be bumped out, unfortunately.
Yeah, looking slightly frustrated. Still good to have her back at the World Cups.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody else top the women's 3. So.
Yeah. No one else has got number 3 done. It's Katja Kiprianova, the only top on it so far. Michaela got the zone on that one. So here's Shauna, number 4. You called it, very technical climber, but as yet no success on number 4. It's been done by 4 climbers. Futaba Ito, Stashigeo, Alma Bestvata and Michaela Tracy, who I just mentioned, got it done. And as I say, Michaela somewhat frustrated not to have topped number 1. Rei Sugimoto looking good on number 4. It's a big move to the top, but he's a big man. He's got plenty of power and he sticks it. 40 seconds left and Rei Sugimoto tops men's 4. That will put him in a very, very strong position.
Pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that'll put him on 3 tops, 4 zones. Moves up into the top 3. Only 3 climbers now with 3 tops on the men's side of things. Rei Sugimoto has become the latest. He joins Alexei Rubtsov and Gabriele Moroni. I think 3 tops will get you into the final. Certainly if you've got 4 zones to go with it. Should get you into the. It's going to be tight on that men's side of things. And that was a frustrated Kokoro Fuji making his way off. Just the 1 zone for him so far. Sergei Topishko now climbing on number 2. So Kokoro didn't get number 2 done. Didn't even get the zone. Miho, the latest to attempt women's 2, which hasn't yet been topped. Now, what we saw, particularly in the 2 rounds in China and Chongqing and Tai'an in May, was that boulders which looked impossible were then cruised by Miho and or Akio. Will that be the case on women's 2? Kai Harada here. Men's 3, tiptoeing out to the left. Next hold up, the black one is the zone. You can see it marked there with the green tape and the small zone sign.
Those dual text holds are really, really bad.
Yeah, pretty much, you'll be more familiar with this hole than me, but the whole top section of the hole is useless, right?
Yeah, the dark shiny part is no friction whatsoever, so it makes it really difficult to get any thumb catches or...
Basically, and you can't move quick on them, I guess.
No, you can only really use the across the area that has got friction, which is why they were built, I guess. But
Yeah. Now then, excuse me, Miho, close. Very close on that one. Top for Yerne Kruder, men's 4. So where does that leave him? Okay, it leaves him with 2 tops, 4 zones. That looks perilous to me. It's very perilous. His score, he's just flashed up on the top left of your screen. That score hadn't quite updated. He's now into a very, very provisional 5th. That's Johanna Faber on number 4. Miho, no joy yet on the women's 2. I'm just looking across the stage. All 4 out of 5 climbers still on the match. Johanna Faber, the only one underway. She's on women's 4. Fanny Gilbert's just attempted women's 3. Kai Harada's pulled back on men's 3. Sergei Topishko is underway on men's 2. Here's Kai. And here's Sergei topping number 2. So he'll be next to try his luck on men's 3. As yet, still got a Narasaki monopoly on it. Meichi and Tomoa topping it, but no one else doing it. Miho's comfortably onto the zone. She's been higher than this already on women's 2. So now she needs to get the hand swap. There it is. Now we saw Shauna get to this position as well. Will she just launch from here? Again, manages to slap the top without converting. And heads back in with over a minute left. Slightly surprising.
it's a tough decision to make, I guess. If you come down, you really have to analyze whether, you know, you've got the energy to do another round or you save it for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting from Miho. Very interesting. Decides not to have another go. So, we're left with Johanna Faber, Kai Harada and Fanny Gilbert on the stage. Just to let you know, Akio Noguchi flashed number 1, wasted absolutely no time at all. And Jongwon Chon didn't get number 1 done, but he did get the zone. They'll be the next out onto the second boulders. Here is Kai going to run out of time. Had a very optimistic leap for the top. So women's 1 and men's 1 done. Women's 1 saw quite a few tops, 14. Not many flashes though, just 5. And men's 1, 5 tops on that one. So Jongwon Chon and Akio Noguchi now try the second boulders. And there's Solsan, Tomoa and Narasaki on the fourth ones. Jongwon Chon missed the Chongqing World Cup due to a scheduling clash with the Korean selection competition, South Korean selection. So he had to, sadly had to miss Chongqing. He came back in Taiwan and made the final.
Interesting how he's using the side of the volume. It's really, really nothing there.
Yeah, there isn't a lot to pull on there for Jongwon Chon. Now, it'll be interested to see Akio Noguchi on women's 2. Hopefully the director will show us plenty of that. Let's just keep an eye on Jong Won Chon though. He's got in a good position, got the right hip in. Yes, nicely done. Yeah, it seems to be the way to do that boulder. Rather than trying to open your hips and face the wall, get turned side on. Now, Kanekio, top number 2, should be the first woman to do so. And what a position it would put her in.
Oh, I think she's going to do it.
Yeah, she's the first climber to get into this position. She's the last climber out. And she is the first climber to top women's 2.
Wow.
Can she make it 3 wins in a row? I have to say, take a very brave person to bet against Sakia Noguchi in this kind of form.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that's first top on women's 2, and Katja Kadic, I was about to say, is very high on women's 3. Team Slovenia giving plenty of encouragement for the crowd for Katja. She just drops back down. Didn't get number 2 done. No shame in that. But did get the first one done. Here's Tomoa, lining it up on number 4 and topping number 4. Big round of applause, fist pump for Tomoa, that familiar fist pump. Never looked in doubt once the right hand landed. To be honest, didn't look in doubt once the left hand landed on the hold before. So this is Kokoro Fuji. Now as soon as your balance goes ever so slightly on that hold, you've had it really. Minute 50 to do something about it. Takes brushing into his own hands. So no climbers currently on the wall. Solsa actually just pulled onto women's 4 on the far right. Crane Cam doing a good job there. Katja Kadic didn't get it done on women's 3. She's just recovering a bit of energy. It's a pretty physical selection of moves. Kokoro's just pulled back on men's 3. Stashigeo just walked past, gave me the thumbs up, which I assume means good news. Katja a bit frustrated. Don't think she'll have another go. No, she's making her way off the stage. Kokoro having another go on men's 3. That doesn't really take a lot of energy, this one. So you can afford to go for it because the top would be so valuable. He'd only be the 3rd man to top it. No joy. So, no more tops on this rotation. Sergei Topishko and Miho Nanaka next to try their luck on the 3rd boulders. We're done with the 2nd boulders. Feels like a long time since we saw Miho. She was got number 1. Number 1 done relative. What am I thinking about here?
Yeah, I haven't seen her on the screen for a while. I think she topped early on one of them, or was that the first one?
I think just jet lag, 40 climbers and 8 boulders, and just cooking my brain.
Probably.
I'm confused who's where. This is Kai Harada, I know that, on number 4. Fanny Gibert's on the right hand side of the screen. Let's have a quick recap of where the scores are up to. Fanny Gibert, just the 1 top and 2 zones for her so far, so definitely needs another top to have a chance. Another zone won't cut it for her. Miho on number 3, there's Fanny, you can just see her in the background. Well, a lot of people, myself included, were saying Fanny Gibert had a really good chance here in Hachioji, she's going to have to pull something big out the bag on number 4. If she wants to make the final, have a chance at a podium or even a win. Sergei Topishko. Men's 3, taller climber. Will that be an advantage? Still a Narasaki monopoly on this one. No one else has managed it. All the bowlers got top though in the women's side. Good work from the route setters. Akira Noguchi the only one who could do number 2, but they all got topped. Here is Miho. Give you some idea. She's on. There we go. She's on the hole before the zone. There's the zone. So the volume itself isn't the zone. It is the small screw-on hole that she's got a left hand on. Will she try and cross through here? I take a lot of power, not just in the arms and the shoulders, the knee as well. That left knee taking a lot of strain. So Fanny, 2 minutes left to bump herself up the order. She's got the zone already, so that's moved her up as it stands into 8th place. Be level with Shauna Coxey. So Shauna won't be in the final here in Hachioji. Kai Harada, excuse me. Yeah, Kai Harada might be. That will bump Kai up into the top 4. Yeah, 4th place for Kai. This is Miho trying all sorts of contortions to find a way on women's 3. Still only 1 top on this. It was Katja Kiprinova's flash of it. And Miho really struggling. As for the brusher, I'm just watching. She's going to have another. Yeah, she is having another go. I thought she was also going to knock number 3 on the head. Fanny Gibert gets the top on number 4. Where does that leave her? That'll leave her with 2 tops and 1 zone. Excuse me, two tops and 3 zones. So time ticks away. Miho doesn't get the job done. So she really needs number 4. That puts, yeah, Fanny Gibert moves up as it stands into 5th place. Incredibly enough, Akira Noguchi, who's only attempted 2 boulders, she's just about to attempt the 3rd one, is already in a provisional 6th place with 2 flashes on the first 2 boulders. What a performance it's been from her. So Katja Kadic, she got a top on number 1 and she got the other 2 zones.
I love watching Katja climb. She always looks like she's having a really good time and enjoying it.
Yeah, she's capable of some really big performances. She's had some big results. She's never made a World Cup podium, but she's had a 5th in Vale, a 6th, that was last year, 6th in Chongqing this year. So a couple of finals. Guess the next step is making finals more often than not, and then who knows, a podium, a win, who knows. Slovenia have had a great year already in the Boulder World Cups.
Definitely.
This is Jongwon Chon on number 3. Still just 2 tops on this one. Can he become The first non-Narasaki to top it. Not this time, he won't be. Kia Noguchi. Oh, wow. Flying. Now, mind you, it's one thing to get to here.
Whoa.
It's another to move up. And that is flexibility, mobility, power, you name it. Brilliance. Perhaps the best word.
Climber.
Crowd appreciate that. We'll just double check. I think that could well have been a third flash on 3 boulders. Yes, 3 flashes, 3 boulders. She's the first climber with 3 tops, and she hasn't even attempted number 4. That's Kokoro Fuji. So I went a bit stat-tastic last night when I was doing my research for today on Akira Noguchi, but you'll have to excuse a bit of geekery. When she's climbing this well, I think it can be excused. Let's just have another look at the top. Most people wincing when she put her foot up there. It's one thing to get it up there, but then to be able to basically pull on it, she's just incredible. 2 minutes 20 for Kachi Kadek and John Won Chon to find the top. As I said, it was going a bit stat-tastic. 4-time overall World Cup champion Akira Noguchi, and 4 times the runner-up. That's 8 seasons she's been in the top 2 overall.
Wow.
And she's won 20 World Cups and has 51 podiums.
51.
51 podiums. If she wins the overall title this year, she'll have 5, and she'll join Sandrine Levay, the joint record of 5 overall World Cup titles.
Oh, wow.
And not in any way to discredit Sandrine Levay's achievement, but it is a different era now. Competition's so fierce.
It is.
But yeah, Kyo would be the joint record holder with 5 overall World Cup titles. Just when you think about some of the climbers we've seen this year, I'm thinking of Alex Cavanaugh and Gregor Vazonik. Can't believe they've got a World Cup medal, and quite rightly, it's the achievement of a lifetime. She's got 51.
51. Just can't imagine even competing in that many competitions.
I know, I mean, if someone's competed in 50 World Cups, we consider them vastly experienced.
Yeah,
51
exactly.
podiums.
It's quite an achievement in itself.
Yeah, and final stat, I promise. In the last 19 World Cups, she's made the podium 15 times. So she is absolutely the woman to beat, Akira Noguchi. She's been winning World Cups for 10 years. Kachi Kadek, we were just watching there with 40 seconds to go. Doesn't look like we're going to see her in the final. Sean McCall just walked past our commentary box. Sad that he's got another injury. Speaking to him, reading his social media, it didn't sound too bad. It certainly held him back yesterday. We shall see. He's got another chance, believe it or not, in just 5 days' time. 10 time zones away. This is Jung Won Chon. I think he's going to run out of time. Maybe not. If he can get that left hand, just plant the palm of his left hand and jump from here. He's got 5 seconds to go. He'll hear the beeps. He knows the time. Oh. And he makes it stick. That's incredible from Jung Won Chon.
Amazing.
The judges surely will give him that one. They will. I was going to say surely. He made that in time. But I glanced at the clock. I think he made it with 3 seconds to go. So it's plenty of time.
Definitely.
I say plenty. Plenty of time
plenty
to claim
for
it.
him.
Yeah, plenty of time for him. That's what it means. So, Sergei Topisko, Miho Nanaka back out onto the stage. We're only on the 4th boulders from here on out. Jung Won Chon, he really needed that. He really needed that. That moves him up to 2 tops, 3 zones. Sergei, this is a really good start from him on number 4. Miho underway on women's 4. And yeah, Miho needs a top here. She's currently sitting, as it stands, in 9th place. very precarious 9th place. Now, if she can't top this boulder, then we already have our female final, and her run of being first or second in every World Cup so far this season will come to an end, because Miho Nanaka will not be in the final if she can't find a top here. She's got 3 minutes 15 left to find one. Sergei Topishko, as it stands, is currently in 12th place, so he needs a top as well. I think, given the number of attempts he's used, even a top here might not be enough for Sergei. Miho 2:45. She'll be aware how important this is. Hasn't got it done this round. She could still find a way in. Just to give you some idea of the standings, currently in 6th place is Fanny Gibert. She's got 2 tops, 3 zones, and they took 6 attempts and 3 attempts respectively. And, Miho Nanaka currently has 1 top, 3 zones, and they took 1 attempt and 3 respectively. So it's tight, it's very tight. Will come down to attempts. She can't burn through the attempts on this slab. If she gets it done, she's got to get it done quickly. Fanny Gibert will be watching this heart in mouth. And given how most climbers have done once they reach this stage of the boulder, I think Miho is just about going to pull it out the bag and make her way into the final, displacing Fanny Gibert in the process. Needed that one. She gets a big round of applause. Miho.
It was impressive how she kept it together towards the end there.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure on there. Home World Cup. Need the top. She gets it done. Sergei Topishko. Just over a minute left for him to find a top on men's 4. We're just waiting for the confirmation. Yeah, Miho will move into the top 6. She will displace Fanny Gibert. Waiting on the number of attempts, but actually it won't matter. 2 tops and 4 zones is enough to get you in anyway. Let's keep an eye on Sergei, just under half a minute to go. "20 seconds left on the clock for him.
I guess he's aiming for the bonus. Oh, the zone anyway.
No, they've had a hard couple of days. Hard boulders. And he's done. 5 seconds to go. So last 5 minutes of action. Kia Noguchi and Jongwon Chon. Now Kia Noguchi will already be in the final, and she's already going to top the semi-final. She's flashed all 3 boulders, and nobody else could even do number 2.
I think she'll walk up this one.
Yeah, to be honest, the form she's in right now, kind of feel like she should be competing on the men's boulders. I mean, she is just at an unbelievable level right now. It'd be interesting to let her loose on the men's boulders, actually.
Oh yeah, I think she'd do pretty well actually.
I think she would too. I don't think there's that big a gap between them.
No.
Interesting. The route says is never that keen to talk about grades, so you never really, unless you can climb both sets, it's really hard to gauge what the gap in difficulty is. I suspect it's not very big at all.
No, I think when it gets to this World Cup level, it's all just hard.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't do any of them. Let's leave it there. Kyo, there's a collective awe from the crowd. She can't, can she?
she's got it. Sure.
Kia Noguchi.
Yeah.
4 boulders, 4 tops. She got 5 in the qualifying round. The route setters are yet to set a boulder here in Hachioji that she can't climb.
Or break a sweat.
She has absolutely cruised this semi-final. I'm trying to give some context to this achievement from Akio because it's been a hard round. By any measure, it's been a hard round for the women. You wouldn't know it. That's 4 flashes from her.
And really tight competition. They're all very, very close.
But no one else has got 3 tops.
No.
She's got 4 flashes.
Yeah.
Well, she's won the last 2 World Cups. Who knows what the setters will provide, but I have to say I'd be amazed if anyone could beat her in the final.
Oh yeah, she seems way above the rest of the field.
Well, as I say, 4 flashes, no one else can top more than 2. So we'll see. We'll see. I was about to say they might set some boulders she doesn't get on with, but is there a style she doesn't like? Is there anything she can't do? We'll see.
Well, it seems that there's a lot. The problems have been all sorts of things anyway. So there've been slabs and.
Well, that's it. There's been variety today.
Yeah.
And nothing stopped her. Well, we'll see. The competitors are going to have to hope that she just has an off afternoon or feels the pressure of the home World Cup or something.
Unlikely.
Well, yeah, it is unlikely. So, Jong Won Chon, let's keep an eye on him. He will make it into the final if he tops this boulder. It won't matter about attempts. He'll have 3 tops then. And that'll be enough to get him in. And I think he's going to do it. Let's have a look. Goes for the top hold. Right hand lands. Left hand joins it. Jong Won Chon makes it into the final. Let's have a look. Did it with a bit of time to spare, so we can confirm your finalists. Before we go off air, we will get a confirmed result list on screen for you, but the results updating very fast here in Tokyo, so that shouldn't take too long. Wow, fantastic semi-final. No doubt who was the dominant force in the women's. In the men's, it was 6 climbers with 3 tops, and they are the 6 finalists. So in the women's competition, we've been talking about her, Akio Noguchi, 4 tops for her. Extraordinary day. Nobody else could manage more than 2. But the top 6 are Futaba Ito. Can't wait to see her in a World Cup final. Stasha Gale, Miho Naka, Alma Besvarta, and Katja Kiprianova. Fanny Gibert will be somewhat heartbroken. Narrowly misses out on the final place. She's 7th. Michaela Tracy 8th. Kyra Conley 9th, and Shauna Coxey 10th. So the lower half of that semi-final, you can see there Sierra Blair Coyle, best finish for her in the World Cups, 11th place. Previously never finished higher than 12th. Katja Kadic misses out. Alana Yip, ditto. Claire Burfine, Johanna Fair, and Oceana McKenzie is down in 20th place. Let's have a look at the men. And there you can see it. Route setters have got to be happy with their work today. 3 tops gets you into the final, and anything less leaves you out of the final. Gabriele Moroni, Tomoe Narasaki, Alexei Rubtsov, Kai Harada, Jong Won Chon, and Rei Sugimoto will make up a powerhouse men's final. Mikaem Mawem just misses out. An overall leader in the World Cup standings, Yerne Kruder, misses out. 8th place for him, first final he's missed this year. And you can see there, Kokoro Fuji, probably the biggest name missing out there, but also Taiwan winner Alex Kazanov won't be there. So a cracking semi-final here in Hachioji, all about one women and the women's side in the men's. Fiercely competitive. We will have presentation and observation at 2 p.m. Japanese time, so just to give you some idea, that's in just under 3 hours, and then we'll have the finals at 2:30 p.m. Lucy, thank you very much for your company.
No worries, I can't wait to see the athletes in the finals. It's going to be really interesting.
Me neither. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in 3 hours' time.